What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. We're rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates. Today is no different, so if you want to stay up to date first and fast on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget TikTok link in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. And finally, do leave a thumbs up. We smashed 300 likes in the last transfer update. Can we hit 300 likes again? That'd be much appreciated. Do leave a thumbs up. So let's crack on with the video, and we're going to start off with the outs. We've got an update on Cole Palmer now. He is expected to leave Manchester City this summer, and he's getting some interest on loan, built over in Germany. They're saying that Borussia Dortmund, they're interested in signing Cole Palmer for next season. They don't mention whether it's going to be a loan or a permanent deal. I suspect if City are to sell Cole Palmer this summer, that it more than likely will be on loan, because he is still regarded as a high important first team young player at Manchester City. So I imagine City will want to get his confidence up, get him out on loan for the season and assess the situation again from there, rather than sell and put in a cheap buyback clause. I might be wrong, but I reckon it'll be a loan rather than a permanent deal. And a move to Dortmund, I think, would be a very interesting move, a solid move there with some great experience for Cole, if that is where he's going to end up. But I think when it comes to loaning Cole Palmer and all the other young players that Manchester City have got, I think the most important thing here, it's all about development, and the only way these young players will develop is if they are loaned out to teams that are going to utilise them, where they're going to get them starts, they're going to get them minutes, and they're able to progress, and we're able to assess the situation again, rather than having frustrating loans. To me, there's too many loans out there with our young players that are getting 20-30% of available minutes, and to me, the young players at the age that they're at with their development, they need to be getting a good 60, 70, 80% of minutes for them to flourish. So the question has to be here, if we are loaning out Cole Palmer to Borussia Dortmund, is he going to be a squad player, a fringe player, or is he going to be a regular first team starter? And I think for any young player, not just Cole Palmer, but any young player, if the answer is they're not going to be a regular first team starter, I don't think they should be loaned out to that club, in my complete honest opinion. So we'll see. Anyway, moving on. Got an update on Kalvin Phillips, and this is probably one of the most strangest transfer links that you will hear about this summer, certainly involving Manchester City. So Kalvin Phillips, we know that West Ham are interested, but according to Christian Falk over at Bild, he says that Bayern Munich, they are also interested in signing Kalvin Phillips, and apparently makes their midfield shortlist of players that they're wanting to sign. Now, we know that Manchester City, if we are to sell Kalvin Phillips, may be looking at more than £40 million. Are Bayern going to pay that? Probably not. Would West Ham pay that? Well, if they sell Declan Rice, probably. Does Kalvin Phillips want to leave Manchester City? I'm not entirely convinced that he does. He's only been here for a season, and he wants to prove himself. It feels like a failure if he's to leave this summer. So I'm not so sure Kalvin Phillips will be leaving City, but we will see. Anyway, speaking of German clubs, it's all German at the moment. Kyle Walker, very latest on him. And Florian Plettenberg over on Twitter says that Bayern Munich, for the first time, have met with Kyle Walker's agent to discuss terms, with a contract on offer until 2025. There will be the option of another year on that deal as well. That's been put on the table. That's the proposal that's been put forward from Bayern Munich to Kyle Walker's entourage. This is the first time that Walker's entourage and Bayern Munich have met in person. They have exchanged several phone calls between each other, but this is the first time they've actually sat down and discussed terms. We know that Manchester City potentially are working on trying to get Kyle Walker on a new deal at the Etihad, and Kyle Walker would prefer to stay at Manchester City, but it's all about what proposals are being put forward. As we saw with İlkay Gündoğan, he was keen to stay at Manchester City. City not really keen on giving anything over 12 months, whereas other clubs were willing to give him 2 years, 3 years, and sometimes players are looking for long-term solidarity. So maybe Kyle Walker will be looking for that. If City are only willing to offer him 12-month extension and Bayern Munich are willing to give him 2 years with the option of a third, may it end up in a similar situation as İlkay Gündoğan and deciding to depart? we'll have to wait and see. I certainly hope that we can keep hold of Kyle because he is a fantastic football player. Now moving on to the final transfer of the out, Bernardo Silva. Jack Gorhan says that Al Hilal over in Saudi Arabia, they are pushing hardest to try and sign Bernardo Silva. Catch this, Al Hilal have offered Bernardo Silva a whopping £75 million a season. A season. £75 million for a year's worth of work. Now, he'd be put on a contract, I'd presume, at least for 3 years. Someone like Bernardo Silva, you're probably going to want him on a 5 or a 6 year deal. £75 million. That's over £1 million per week. They are extraordinary numbers. Now, it has been reported by Record over in Portugal, Bernardo Silva would prefer to stay in Europe. He's going through the peak prime years. He wants to be competing at the highest level possible, and that is right now in Europe. However, his head is being turned by the proposals and the numbers being put forward. £75 million a year is a lot of money for any football player. For someone who's right at the top of their game, it's a lot of money. But Bernardo Silva, he's a fantastic football player. £75 million. Who's turning down £75 million a year? That's the kind of money that's been offered in Saudi Arabia. It's for me to make another video another time if I want to speak about all these transfers that are happening in Saudi Arabia and giving my thoughts on that. If that is a video that does interest you, by the way, do let me know and I'll see what I can do. I might be able to put a video out there on the JSGC football channel, one of my second channels, linked in the description if you want to go and check that out, giving my thoughts. But yeah, Bernardo Silva, very interesting. Record are saying that Bernardo Silva wants to relax on his holiday for the next few weeks, think things over, and then in a few weeks' time make a decision on his future, which is a good cue now for us to move on to the ins. And we've got the very latest on Mateo Kovacic. Just a very quick update on this, and the Guardian have been reporting that Kovacic has his Manchester City medical booked in for today. Not seen any tweets put out there of Kovacic in Manchester or in London undertaking his Manchester City medical as of yet, but if things do materialise and we do get them pictures and word that the medical is officially underway, I'll retweet them on my Twitter, so do go and check me out and follow me on there. But yeah, Kovacic medical apparently is today, closing in City here. Already got personal terms agreed. We've got a fee agreed with Chelsea, £25 million plus £5 million in add-on, so a deal worth £30 million. It will just be a formality of him putting pen to paper, completing his medical in Manchester City, announcing Kovacic as our first summer signing. Now moving on to the final transfer of this video. We've spoken about our first summer signing, and we may be getting closer to our second summer signing as well, and another midfielder comes in the form of an update on Declan Rice. Now, Decky Rice, the Mirror, is saying Manchester City, they are prepared to pay what they paid for Jack Grealish from Aston Villa, and that's £100 million what Man City are prepared to pay in a fee to make Declan Rice transfer happen. Apparently, personal terms won't be a problem. Declan Rice happy to agree to Manchester City's terms, which would be roughly around £200,000 a week, which is absolutely nothing compared to Bernardo Silva's £75 million a year contract being put on offer to him by Al Hilal over in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano says that Manchester City now are in direct contact with Declan Rice's camp and with West Ham. Rice is open to any move away from West Ham as long as it is a Champions League club. Arsenal being heavily linked, Manchester City being heavily linked. DiMarzio, he's put a bit of pepper onto things here, sweetening and things up here really, putting it extra juicy in there, giving a bit of flavour to things. As DiMarzio says that Manchester City, they're prepared to offer £90 million and match what Arsenal are offering, £75 million fee, paid over 2 instalments with £15 million added on with realistic achievements. Jacob Steinberg of The Guardian says that despite Manchester City's interest, Declan Rice is still keen on a move to Arsenal rather than to Manchester City, and this may just be a little game being played here by West Ham, as it is the perfect way to force Arsenal's hand as West Ham growing frustrated at the progress being made with Arsenal and Declan Rice to make the transfer happen. Coincidentally, the MEN have said that Manchester City, they are indeed interested in Declan Rice, but no official bid is in as of yet. And then DiMarzio, who's putting his neck right on the line here has said that not only are Manchester City willing to pay the £90 million that West Ham are wanting, and City may even be prepared to pay a little bit more to make the transfer happen, up to £100 million. He says that Manchester City now are working on the final details for Declan Rice, and an agreement is close. Contradicting information being put out there. Won't be the first, won't be the last time we get this with the transfers, but things certainly hotting up when it comes to Declan Rice. Where's he going to end up? Is it going to be Arsenal? Is it going to be Manchester City? Who do you believe? Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. So I'm going to be doing a transfer Q&A later on today for you guys to enjoy. So do come and tune in. Put your questions there in the live chat. I'll answer them. We'll have a good back and forth, bit of banter, bit of a Q&A, bit of a transfer talk type thing. Thinking of running that as a weekly series here on the JSGC channel. So do come and check that out. I'll have the link out in a bit for you guys to set your reminders for. That will be for this afternoon. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you are new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 30,000 subscribers, now less than 300 subs away, so any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below, sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link in the description too if you want to go and follow me on there. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And finally, 300 likes, that's the aim. So if we could hit that, that would be brilliant. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. £75 million a year. I tell you what, Saudi Arabia, if they want to offer me to come over there and film my videos instead and give some updates on a Saudi Arabian team, and they're willing to offer me just £1 million a year rather than £75 million a year that's been offered to Bernardo Silva to play football, then email me, let me know. You know, Bernardo Silva might be mulling things over, but to me, it's no brainer. £1 million, let me know in the emails. Thanks for watching, peace. Ciao for now.